My interest for Brazil began when I was about 17 years old. At this point, I was very interested in learning Portuguese and visiting Brazil. I started going online and trying to find people to talk to that were from Brazil. I found Andre. He was the first of many online friends I would make. We had interesting conversations such as political views, our studies, and talked about our countries and learned about how different our cultures were. I being Christian and Andrea being pretty much atheists, we had a lot to talk about. We were different and had different views, but we somehow managed to understand and learn from each other. When I went to study Portuguese in Brazil, I decided to meet Andre. I was 19. It was strange, but it seemed like we knew each other so well, even though we never really met before in person. I never been to a city as big as Sao Paulo in my life, and it really made me see how little I knew about the world. I consider myself a citizen of the world because it all started back then with that first trip to Brazil. And when people ask me where I'm from, it's always confusing and hard to answer. Portuguese was the first language I learned alone. For some reason I felt attracted to Brazil. Maybe it was the sound of Portuguese, its friendly people, their culture, their passion for football or sports in general, or their way of rising above their problems and once a year celebrate carnival, the biggest spectacle in the world. But nevertheless, I got to see how different it was compared to the views of people who only know Brazil for the wrong reasons.
We're here in San Francisco at the Lewis Park. It's a beautiful day here, so let's go. Do you know anything about the World Cup?
Not beyond the extent of the fact that it's a sporting event.
Not very much at all.
What about you?
I don't know either.
Nothing.
A little bit.
Yeah, I know a couple of my friends are trying to go to it, but not much.
Do you know where it's going to be? Where's it going to be this year?
I don't.
Did you know that the World Cup is going to be in Brazil?
Yep.
Are you guys football fans? I mean soccer fans, I suppose?
Well, I played American football in college, so. But soccer's alright too.
Oh, alright.
Yeah, I mean, I'll watch it, but I don't follow it.
Do you know anything about Brazil at all?
I do actually. I'm Portuguese and I have family that's from Rio.
No, I would be down to visit Brazil. I mean, I don't know if there's heard kidnapping concerns. I don't want to get murdered, but.
Well, I went to college in Miami and there was a lot of Brazilian population there, so I kind of became somewhat familiar with the culture and the food, the people, the music, and of course Marty. What's the big party there? Carnval. Yeah.
I don't know too much about visiting Brazil or anything. It'd be cool to go, I'd imagine, but safety concerns I have to look into a lot more.
So now that we're talking about Rio, did you know that Rio is going to host the Olympics too in 2016?
I did, yeah.
So what do you think about Rio being ready for that?
I think as long as they make the proper preparations, that it's a great city and would be a good location for that. I do think that it requires a lot of forethought to get it ready.
People were saying about the poverty and the favelas and all the stuff about Rio de Janeiro, and it's really dangerous. What do you? I mean, have you been to Rio, obviously? And so, what do you think about that? You think it's a dangerous city to go to? Or?
I don't know. I think the only reference point I have is there's the episode of Homeland. And that was really scary. So
I mean, there's definitely a huge gap between the upper and middle class people and those that are just struggling to get by. So I think that even just visiting, that's apparent. But I wouldn't say that it's any more dangerous than your average city. It's just a matter of where within the city you are.
The drug lord just kind of ran the show in the episode.
yeah, it's like, dude, it seemed like they ran the whole city.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I mean, it was a TV show, obviously.
Right. Do you think you're going to go to the Olympics?
I don't think so, just because of travel and accommodations. But if logistics weren't an issue, then yes, I would definitely take it.
I made a South America trip plan, ending up in Brazil for the either the Olympics.
Brazilian people feel like the president doesn't really care about that. He just wants to show a good spectacle to the world, but not really care about what the people think inside. So what do you feel about that?
I think it depends on the country and depends on the situation. You know, there are some events like the ones in Greece and Athens, the Olympics, were not very successful for them. So it just kind of depends, I guess. I think it could be both good or bad. You have to have the risks.
Well, I'd imagine, I know China wasn't very successful, but I know a lot of times bringing the Olympics and World Cup is a big boost for the economy, and like you mentioned right now, as far as tourism goes and things like that. So like you take that money and reinvest it in appropriate mediums. it could be good. I don't really know exactly the agenda and the plans, and I can understand where there's a disconnect there between just kind of wanting to make a good spectacle and make it appear like a good and safe city versus actually wanting to make the place better.
Think about the America's Cup, which was here. It cost a ton of money for the city, and ended up kind of being a big flop.
Yeah, well, I think maybe having the Olympics there and having the World Cup there sort of puts Brazil more on the world stage. So
If you had like a free ticket to go to the FIFA, you definitely go.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. I play a lot of FIFA on Xbox, so
okay,
I'm well versed.
Brazil is the largest country in both South America and Latin American region. It is the world's 5th largest country both by geographical area and by population. It is the largest Portuguese-speaking country in the world and the only one in the Americas. While Brazil has stayed in the shadows, having attention only for their football matches or news such as drugs, human trafficking and its dangerous favelas which surround the edges of its cities like Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo, Brazil has grown a lot in the past years. Being one of the fastest growing economies in South America, now Brazil will no longer be in the shadows. It will step forward and have a major role for once. Will these events expose Brazil for good or bad? President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has worked hard to promote Brazil. Lula, like many Brazilians call him, has made his goal to leave his last term in office with the title of bringing the world to Brazil. He charmed the international committees, and now Brazil will be hosting the 2014 FIFA World Cup and the 2016 Rio Olympics. But many wonder at what cost. We are months away from 2014 World Cup and it seems like Brazil is far from being ready. There are many delays in buildings and remodeling stadiums, massive problems with infrastructure as 90% of the roads in Brazil are still unpaved, and in the cities public transportation is a big problem. Also, Rio de Janeiro will be hosting the Olympics, and with only 2.5 years in their hands, they are working hard to maintain the city safe. With drugs, poverty, pollution and criminal problems that surround the city, many wonder how safe Rio de Janeiro will be.
Hello again, and we're here in the other side of the Park of Dolores. And can I go around now in this area? Can I introduce more people? Here with
Dakota, Zoe, Maya.
Okay, what do you guys know about the World Cup or the Olympics?
It happens every 4 years. Brazil, there's some like nasty shit going on there right now, so it's kind of like controversial that they're having the World Cup there.
I've definitely watched it on television before, but I don't know much about it.
Wasn't planning on going, know nothing about it.
Are you guys soccer fans at all? Do you guys like soccer at all? No?
Yeah,
when I was a kid, yeah, as a child.
Did you coach too?
Yeah, but then I got a job and stopped caring about stuff.
Alright. There are a lot of Brazilians are feeling like they're building all these stadiums and all this stuff and wasting money on that instead of education and stuff like that. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I think that sports are a little stupid. Like, you can play sports all you want, that's totally fine. But if you're like, if it's more important than the people living in the country, that's important.
Yeah, this is just like a one-time event.
Yeah.
You're wasting, like, it's like millions of dollars.
Yeah. I think it's a little ridiculous because in reality, education is really important too. And you're going to need that for your future. And really all the spending money on sports and stuff is just bringing tourism to better your economy. So that's like a good thing, I guess, but at the same time. But who's that money going to?
Yeah, exactly. Who's that money? Where is it going?
I kind of agree with that. I don't think they're ready.
Didn't South Africa just host like
South Africa hosted the FIFA World Cup.
Just recently? Aren't they like pretty tight?
I don't know.
I think so. If they
I think they would.
But hasn't that been like pretty much every World Cup and European Soccer Cup? Like I remember it was in Eastern Europe not that long ago, and they said the same thing about them. Like basically, pretty much every World Cup, every Olympics, and every European Cup, they basically have the same criticism that like they're not ready, and a lot of times it's these countries that would really benefit from having these events. So. And every single one in the past has gone well. So I think the people in charge of the World Cup know way better than the people who are criticizing like I'm sure they'll be ready in time.
Olympics is going to be in Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro is like known mainly like for, I don't know, like the favelas around, the slums around the city. Do you think it's a dangerous city? Do you feel like you would go there?
I would go there. I was just going to say, I was like, I definitely would go.
I'm not going to go to the Olympics.
But if you would go, would you feel safe?
I mean, I've been to Brazil. I don't know if I've been to the drug lord part of it. I guess I would want to be with the locals so that they can show me the ropes.
You know, like, you can't get caught up in the dangerous stuff, like, or else, like, my whole time I spent in South America, no one ever robbed me, nothing bad happened, just because you're, like, going to pick the places where you go and stuff like that.
I think there's just going to be so many people there, the strength in numbers. Like, who would walk into this giant lobby to start, like, maybe give your wallet?
Watch out with that.
You bring a wallet to the...
I mean, how are you not going to bring a wallet on vacation?
I know there's been a lot of riots and stuff because a lot of people were angry because Brazil's wasting so much money and like building stadiums and throwing people out of their homes to build new things for the Olympics and everything. Do you guys think that's like okay? What do you think about that?
I mean, it's definitely a sketchy move on the part of the government, but I haven't heard anything about it. I'm not very up to date on Brazilian affairs.
I'm not really up to date on what they're doing to, like, you know, concerning people that are kicked out of their homes and stuff like that. But I honestly think that's terrible, and I wouldn't want my government to, like, kick me out of my house to build a freaking stadium for some stupid Olympics. Because honestly, the Olympics are really just unnecessary. But they're cool at the same time. I do appreciate them and support them. Kicking someone out of their house, dude, to build a stadium, I'm good.
So when you think about Brazil, do you feel like it's a safe country, normal movement, or not safe country?
Now I'm starting to question it.
So no, but before this, did you think?
I didn't know anything about Brazil.
So
it sounded like a nice place.
So you say safe?
Yes. Medium.
Sum up in 3 words, the first thing that comes to your mind when you say Brazil.
Me and drugs is all I can think of now.
Another one, that's 2.
Coffee. Oh, and does it count?
Yeah, does it count?
Coffee, drugs, and sports.
Okay.
Wow.
Coffee, drugs, and sports.
I would say coconuts.
Coconuts.
Coco verde is actually their drink that they stick in the straw.
You're the second person that said that. I didn't know that before either.
Coco verde. And then the beach. La playa.
Oh, in Portuguese, praia.
Praia. Okay. And then, oh my god, they had these amazing avocados that were like the size of my face. So that.
Isn't carnval like that?
Yes, every year.
Carnival is pretty sexy.
I would say that on average there are a lot of sexy Brazilians.
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
If the guys in soccer would play without his shirts on, would you watch?
Oh no, I don't really care about the boys.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, what about in your Olympics? Okay, you're the part. Would you?
It all started June of 2013 when Sao Paulo increased its bus fares from 3 reais, which is $1.35, to its original price, which was 2 reais. This is where Brazilians woke up and set enough and took to the streets their frustration. The nation has never seen a protest like this for nearly 2 decades. They could see from the tallest building thousands of people taking over the city of Sao Paulo and later Rio de Janeiro. These events have been a wake-up call that the nation needed to remember all the things that they were tired of. Now, it wasn't just about bus fares. It went deeper than that. They wanted Brazil to change. They demanded the president to start working on ways to improve the country and not just look good on the surface. They were tired of the corruption, lack of good education, massive tax increase, and poor healthcare system. Now it was a fight for equality and for a better future. While the president focuses on the World Cup with the Olympics, others wonder at what cost, when the country could use the money for the many problems it faces.
Oi, eu sou o William, eu sou brasileiro, eu nasci em São Paulo, Brasil, e eu morei lá 7 anos. Eu mudei para os Estados Unidos, eu morava na Flórida, mas agora eu moro aqui em Walla Walla. Eu sou um freshman e eu estou estudando engenharia mecânica. Eu acho que hoje o Brasil está preparado para os eventos que vai acontecer, mas há 2, 3 anos atrás, quando o Brasil ficou sabendo que ia ter a Copa do Mundo e as Olimpíadas lá, eu acho que o Brasil não estava numa posição boa para ter os eventos no país. Eu acho que o Brasil tem, infelizmente, muita corrupção, com dinheiro, com tráfico, com as polícias. O Brasil é um país bom, mas tem algumas coisas que ele tem que mudar, que ele está mudando para ser um país do primeiro mundo, ser um país bem seguro e com sucesso, com uma economia boa. Eu acho que sim. O Brasil vai ficar um país bem visitado, vai ser um país bem mais conhecido. E eu acho que é bom essa publicidade para o Brasil, porque não é todo mundo que conhece sobre o Brasil e é uma cultura lá bem legal. E na verdade eles conhecem só os brasileiros por causa do futebol e do carnaval. Eu acho que pode até ser que eles continuem a protestar, mas durante os eventos vai ter tanta coisa no Brasil, tanto tráfico, tanta publicidade boa, que eu acho que num jeito isso vai acalmar os protestantes. Eles vão ver quão é legal ter o Brasil como um país turístico esses 2 anos. Ter a Copa do Mundo, especialmente se o Brasil ganhar. Eu acho que vai acalmar os protestantes. De tal forma, a presidente vai, eu acho, escutar o que os protestantes têm a falar e vai tentar trabalhar com eles. O Brasil é um país cheio de cultura, cheio de cor. Tem praia linda do Brasil, as mulheres são lindas. Não tem como explicar o Brasil. Você só pode entender o Brasil visitando o Brasil.
While other cities that hosted the Olympics and the World Cup look at Brazil as a country that needs to work a lot before being ready to host all these events like they did, Brazil is confident in being ready and to deliver at a top level. Lula said they were not Europe, that in South America they do things different, but to be sure that they will be ready to show the world the best spectacle they've ever seen in years. With everything that has happened, will people come together and for once forget their problems and support Brazil in these events? Or will they protest till their voices are heard, like they did with the Confederations Cup? That is something that we will have to wait and see, but right now people are not happy and ignoring the problem will not make things better. As for me, I will go to the World Cup and the Olympics, because even though the country is going through a lot, I want to be part of the first Olympics in Brazil, a country that I fell in love with.